What's up, y'all? There's actually a decent amount of stuff to cover here, but we got Snorlax for you guys, and hold on, it's a little bit loud. I do this every time. Bear with me. Okay, we're here. So, Snorlax. Um, there is a couple like there's nothing major that will jump out at people. I'm assuming that's like what the heck or controversial or weird or whatever. But there's a lot of like little things that might be confusing or strange for people, so that's why it's kind of hard for me to figure out where to start. But I think I can just start with the stats. So Snorlax infamously has really good stats. I mean, super fucking tanky despite, shitty defense. But otherwise, super tanky. I also found that in Gen 1 it had 65 special, which is interesting. I always, for some reason, thought it would have 110 special. But anyways, I think Gen 2 was when it still is like super dominant and competitive. But anyway, um, yeah. Snorlax stats are very tweaked. The whole line stats are super tweaked. So akin to how they were in Gen 1 with equal defenses, I gave them equal bulk because Snorlax doesn't look like it should only have 65 base defense, and Snorlax also doesn't look like it should have a giant special defense, or not giant, but over 100 special defense. And so I ended up evening them out. So you can see minus 20 here, plus 25 here. So I essentially took out 20 and put in 25. It is also these two. Well, actually, Munchlax is like, it's slow, but it's not like that slow. Okay, let me rephrase. It's really slow, but it's not like unique in being base 20. There's 8 other base 20s now. But Snorlax is unique in that it is now the slowest fully evolved Pokemon in the game. Only other ones that might be equally as slow or similarly, like the only other fully evolved mons that are going to be in the base 10 to 15 range are most likely going to be like, what's it called? Stack Attack, Gigalith as well. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, that's an interesting little fun fact. So go back, thank you. So other weird things about stats. Slightly less HP. That's just because, like, I try to make HP more consistent, and 150 just looked like a better number to me as well, and it's just a lot more balanced, and I like it. I also wanted stats for other stuff. And yeah, 150, 90, 90 bulk is really good. Really, really, really fucking tanky overall. I'll talk about. Oh, he's really great. So I actually didn't need any buffs per se. It was already a great mon, but I gave it a lot of cool new stuff to do. And in the grand scheme of like the hack and the power creep, like base Snorlax would not be great. Although now even with like base Snorlax and Slack off, it would be kind of mid. As for why they don't have thick fat, it's because Miltank will be having thick fat. So yeah, and Unaware fits them very nicely anyways. I'll cover that in a little bit. But stat-wise, another weird thing I might jump at people besides the less special defense, less HP is the big buff to special attack. And the reason I did that is because, number one, it just kind of fits in my opinion. Like they're a Gen 1 normal type. I can kind of just see them like firing off. I mean, they already have like all of these special moves. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool to be able to actually use special attacks. You can actually run like really good mix sets, like Hyper Beam and that kind of thing, because it drops special attack stat now. Although you can do this in a Giga Impact. But yeah, that's really cool. And I'll cover that more in depth later. But yeah, I also think it's really cool with Belch, because Belch now gives you a special attack boost as well as being 120 base power, but I will also cover that more in depth later too. I think it's about it for stats. Munchlax kind of just follows suit. I mean, HP is much more based on size. 80 base HP is already really big, but he is a fat fucker, so 230 pounds. So I figured Ace. She's God. Base 80. There we go. Ace. I was just saying Ace 80 like twice. Base 80 HP is pretty fitting. And I also like how his attack stat is not the same, slightly less attack because he's just a little bear boy. And then the bulk is better overall, and special attack is just better to match Snorlax, and then slightly more speed because Munchlax doesn't really make sense to be slower than Snorlax. It's actually said that he could totally run faster than Snorlax. He's not as big, and he like hops around and shit. And I should have given them a hop, shouldn't I have? +3. I mean, they don't need it. Would be kind of funny though. Regardless, actually, no, hop makes no sense. What am I talking about? It's funny for Munchlax, but it makes no sense for Snorlax. So, although yeah, I guess technically you can go with Body Slam or whatever the fuck else. But anyways, my point being, that's the new stats, and then plus 10 attack just because he's fucking huge. 120 attack makes more sense. He's just a big guy, big strong guy. But again, mix sets are still very viable, especially if you get like a plus special attack nature, like a quiet nature or something. It's really, really good. And again, you have arguably more coverage on the special side. Kind of equal, actually. Like if you look at all of the moves, it's pretty equal. But you have some really cool stuff specially, but you also have very cool and good stuff physically. So yeah, and then the line. So logic for abilities. So Metabolism, I don't need to explain the logic behind that. It is excellent. What that is a new ability, and it works like Cheek Pouch. So what it does is you get 1/3 HP as well as the berry. So for example, if you ran Papaya Berry with Belch or something, or Choppleberry with Belch or something, anything like that, or even just Citrus Berry, you know, or Wiki Berry, whatever, you can heal full HP with Citrus plus Metabolism. So you can basically, the second you hit 50% HP, it's basically like it's like Gluttony Wiki Berry, similar effect. Although technically you would heal more HP, so if you fell like slightly below 58%, you would be feeling the full. So that's really great. But the main benefit is that other berries will heal you. So like again, Papaya Berry, Lychee Berry, Ganlon, Apricot. I don't remember the other. I don't remember the name for special defense off the top of my head. Okay, I'm not gonna try to remember it. But you guys, I know Ganlon is defense. I'm like 80% sure Ganlon's defense. But yeah, you can use pinch berries at that point, or healing berries or other stuff. And they work really good with berries, and it makes a lot of sense because they are Snorlax and he eats a lot. So metabolism, he's got a big slow metabolism rather. But yeah, it's just cool, better than Gluttony. There is another pure normal type. So what I did is, if you guys aren't familiar, I planned out all of the other Pokemon, and there are about 19 pure normal types. Despite all of the type changes, there's still about 19 left. So a lot of them, I have to make sure that they don't overlap with each other or outclass one another. And so a lot of competition would be like Slaking and Miltank, you know, like the chunky ones. So I ended up giving Slaking has Gluttony because its stats are much better, or not better necessarily, but yeah, they are better. Not better, but you know what I'm trying to say. He is much stronger. That was my point. So he will have Gluttony, and Snorlax gets Metabolism, and then again Sap Sipper and Thick Fat for Miltank. So that fits really nicely. But what is really cool is they also have Unaware. So not only is Metabolism, like Metabolism is useful all the time. Like you're always, you know, you can use berries and all that great shit. Assault Vests are also great, but Unaware is so great for them because of all of the boosting moves and Pokemon in this hack. Like just being able to fucking ignore them is such a blessing. Like it is just really nice. I might give them Roar. Unaware Roar would be kind of nice to phase out. Circle Trophy was kind of weird. I could throw a Roar on there, although I don't want to give them +2 attack move. I can give them Swords Dance. Also Roar. Did they get Roar by? Okay, if they get Roar by TM, I'll give them Roar by level up if they get it by TM, but I don't think they do for some reason. Yeah, they don't. All right, no Roar then. It's fine. They don't have any phasing stuff, but they can always just. I don't know if I could maybe give them like something to phase or punish that up or something. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, Claire Smog that's weird. I know he's like kind of a fat fucker. It feels weird though. So, regardless of being able to phase mons, it still can sit and completely fucking ignore boosted mons. So, despite on top of having great bulk on your own, you also have the ability to just completely fucking ignore shit. Which fits. I mean, dude, Unaware is like so fitting for them. I mean, they're fucking Snorlax. He literally he lies down. He doesn't give a fuck what anybody does. People fucking sit on his belly and play on his belly, and the G-Max form is literally like a fucking thing ecosystem grew on him because he does not give a fuck. So yeah, Unaware fits really nicely. Not as much for Munchlax, but I just figured I would keep it just because it's a good ability. They level 35, so keeping Munchlax till 35 will be very easy and not hard at all. Very solid solid stats. And then once you evolve, obviously you get the big boy bulk. I believe so with this new stat spread, you are less specially bulky overall, obviously, because you have -10 HP, -20 SPDF, but you are much physically bulkier than you used to be. And of course, with all of these new utility moves and Slack off for reliable healing, like you don't mind losing the bulk. I would much rather trade the bulk for all of the other buffs that I have on this Snorlax. So, yeah, mixed sets are really great. You have a lot of really good utilities. So you have early game, you can use Z Entrainment for +2 special attack, which is cool to make special sets better. You have Plain Eyes for utility, it's priority -1 special attack. You have Fake Tears, -2 SPDF, Slack off for reliable healing. Charm and Befriend are just the opposite of each other, so -2 special attack and -2 attack. Yawn is Yawn. Body Slam's Body Slam. Belch is really solid. So what Belch is now, it's super fucking cool. Belch actually gives +1 special attack now when you use it each time. And so it also has a 30% flinch rate, but that's not relevant here because Snorlax is not speeding anything. But it's really cool because what you can do is you can sort of like rack up boosts that way, and also this lasts until the whole battle. So for example, if I have Metabolism on my Snorlax and I switch it in and then it gets the, you know, my Citrus Berry pops and I get back to full HP, now I can click Belch that entire battle. I can click Belch, swap out, click Belch again later in the battle. So that's really, really useful, and really, really cool. I love that, honestly. So that's awesome. I love that. And it makes special sets much more viable because you have a 120 base power move here that Goose gives you +1 special attack. Also, something I should mention, logic for poison heal. I mean, it's kind of weird. I know, like, it's not the most fitting, but I think it's kind of cute. I think one trainer could have it, and it's like really stally with facade and like super bulky, and it just, you know, blah blah blah. And it fits well enough. I mean, he had immunity before, so I mean, getting healed by the poison is kind of weird, but you know, he eats shit. Like he literally eats garbage and moldy and rotten, so I think it fits really nicely overall. It's kind of coordinating having immunity. I low-key feel like they might have even given it to him instead of immunity if immunity wasn't a Gen 1 ability. Or sorry, Gen 3 ability rather. Not Gen 1, obviously. Gen 1 didn't have abilities. So yeah, that's really cool. You have Belch there. Flail Reversal are okay. You can use those with like Metabolism and like Lychee Berry or something for attack. Or you can just use Metabolism, I think, right? Actually, because you'd be healing. Never mind. They're just there because they're there. They're useful somewhat. Another really cool stuff. Stockpile, Swallow, and Spew Out. Well, Spew Out is new, but it's named from Spit Up. So what those 3 moves do now? Well, Stockpile is the same, but it does have a really good Z effect. Stockpile heals you, I believe. I remember. Yes. No. Z Stockpile gives. Oh, I remember why I didn't make it heal you anymore because of the Swallow. So basically, no, that's Swallow. I'm not bugging. Stockpile's healing. Yeah. So Z Stockpile heals you, and it gives you you know, +1 defenses, and it's actually not even bad because it has the same Cosmic Power. The other move that does this same effect also only has 3 PP, and this one actually can only be used 3 times. Stockpile can be used over and over again, so that's actually a really good big pro for Stockpile, that you can use Stockpile 3 times and then get rid of your boost and then get them back. So that's great. That's really, really cool to have. So that's awesome. And what you can do now is get a Stockpile, one singular Stockpile. After one Stockpile, Swallow will heal you 100%. So what you could do is you can use Stockpile 1 time, and then at any point in that battle, as long as you don't switch out, you can click Swallow and heal fully to 100% HP. And that goes really good with the Z effect as well, with the +3 special defense, and Z effect also bypasses taunt, so that's really cool to have. Slack Off is more reliable, but Swallow's really cool to have for healing for sure. I really like that option. Just getting text messages. That's awesome. I guess Bide might be a good level 1 move. Yeah, let me throw that on there. Just have 4 moves. You know, and he's bulky, so it kind of works. Let's just bold on that, and I will throw this on at the end of the video. Do not let me forget myself. Note to myself, don't forget to put Bide on there. So, as I was saying, oh god, fuck off, dude. I don't want to. I'm too lazy to control F. I should totally just control F, but I'm lazy. There we go. Okay, so. Stockpile, Swallow are great, and then Spew Out. What Spew Out is, it's not super great because it's not Stab. When it's Stab, it's amazing, but despite not being Stab, it's still really useful, especially with, you can use these with Metabolism really well, because you get the berry, you get the healing, you know, it's like you can kind of just really rack up the boosts and the drops and all that great stuff. So what that does now is, essentially, for example, let's say you use Stockpile once, you can either Swallow to heal fully, so heal all your HP, and get rid of your boosts, or you can click Spew Out and get 100 base power, poison type special move that always lowers special defense by 4. -4 stat is the equivalent to a 2/3 drop to the special defense, so that's really powerful. Not as powerful as you might think. People might be like thinking, what the hell, +4, -4, all of these moves are -4, it's OP. -4 is not as OP as you might assume initially. I, for one, also assumed it would be 75% drop, but no, it's only 2/3. So, yeah. This theme is annoying, but it's kind of like Snorlax's route theme, so I just kept it. Hopefully this video's over soon, because this theme is annoying the hell out of me, and I'm too lazy to find a new video. I'm also really tired. And this will probably be it for tonight. I will be doing more tomorrow. We're almost done. We only had the legendary birds and Dragonite and Mew, and then we're done with Gen 1, and then it's awesome, man. So, as I was saying, Stockpile, Swallow, Spew Out are very good. Heavy Slam, Heat Crash are just nice for coverage. You already have, you know, Fire Punch, Iron Hit, all that shit, but it's just nice to have the option. Heat Crash does actually have a 30% burn right now, which is like the equivalent to Scald and shit. I gave it that because Heat Crash kind of sucks otherwise, and so giving it a Scald, making it kind of like a Scald equivalent is cool to have that really high burn rate, and having no drawbacks besides being kind of weak sometimes if you're not that heavy. So it's cool to have. And then Happy Slam actually has a really unique effect. It's not that useful on Snorlax, but it's very useful on like Steelix, for example, because then you can use Earthquake on flying or levitating mons. So basically what Heavy Slam does is Heavy Slam has Smackdown's effect. So Heavy Slam will ground an opponent in front of you, which is really awesome. It basically makes it so that you can hit them with ground moves and that kind of thing, although it's not really that useful. And Alex's case, it's still niche. It's niche, but it's there. It's definitely useful in some cases, although Iron Head is more consistent. But honestly, Snorlax is heavy enough to the point where Heavy Slam will probably be doing at least 80 base power most of the time, maybe 60 if they're really, really heavy, whatever's in front of you. So yeah, that's really cool. Tri Attack is just there for special sets because I really want to encourage the use of that. You also have Hyper Voice by Tutor, and then Echo Voice is not good. Well, it's okay. It's good, but I don't like that move. Snore is a meme. It's bad on Snorlax because he's slow, but Snore always flinches. So as long as you're asleep, it'll always flinch, but it's bad because you're not speeding anything. Skull Bash is really cool. I've covered Skull Bash on a lot of change guides. If you guys don't know what it does by now, it gives you +1 defense on the first turn and then +1 attack and accuracy on the second turn. So you can, it's basically like a free bulk up boost on top of a 130 base power normal move. So that's really strong. Not as great on Snorlax, but it's really good on other mons. Snorlax is still good on though to have as an option. Explosion is just funny. It's special 250 base power, and it always crits, so it's essentially 375 base power, and it bypasses stat drops and stat boosts, so that's really strong. Obviously, if you're doing a Nuzlocke, don't use it, but it's there. It's there for flavor and stuff. Another important buff I haven't talked about yet is Pulverizing Pancake. So I am buffing Signature Z moves, all of them. I will go back and do Raichu's and Pikachu's when I eventually record videos for them, because right now I didn't do their Z moves, and all the other ones, but yeah, Pulverizing Pancake is strong. It's now 250 base power as opposed to regular Z Giga Impact, which is what Pulverizing Pancake turns into, or rather, Giga Impact turns into Pulverizing Pancake. So that you can get the Snorlium Z for free, like from a random NPC. I forget where, but you can get it in like a hotel or some shit. So you'll have it by the time you get a Giga Impact TM for sure, or you can get it the second you have the Giga Impact TM. And that's reteachable, so that's really useful to have. And regular Giga Impact Z move is 210 base power, which is already excellent. But then you have a 250 base power Z move here that also always paralyzes. It's kind of funny. You could picture it like an ultimate body slam, kind of. Like it's just fucking jacked up body slam because he's, you know, his Z power and he's fucking Snorlax. So it's just like giant body slam always paralyzes instead of 30%. That's English. Instead of 30% of the time, it's 100% of the time. Instead of 90 base power, it's 250 base power. Obviously, you can't run an item. You have to run a Z move, but it's still really cool and it's useful to have as an option. Amnesia is nice for setup, you know, with Slack Off or a Swallow and Stockpile, whatever it is. Although you probably would want Stockpile Swallow is great. Slack Off Amnesia is great if that makes sense, but you wouldn't want to mix the two because then it kind of gets into nasty overlap. Again, Metabolism, I can't understate how useful that is and how much bulkier it makes it with the berries and stuff. It's not a game-breaking ability. It's not anything insane, but it's a nice ability for them to have, and it fits really well. Same thing with Unaware. Not anything game-breaking and not a boosting ability. It's just a nice, bulky defensive ability. And then also, Belly Drum is there. You're not fast, and your only priority move is Shockwave by Tutor. That's your only priority move. As it should be, because they don't make any sense to like Quick Attack, and Sucker Punch is kind of a reach. They do have First Impression as well, actually I lied, but that doesn't count because you can't use Setup into First Impression. You can only use First Impression on the first turn. So it's good to have as a TM though, just to teach whenever you need it. So yeah, like I said, you can use Shockwave. What the heck does that sound? I'm not sure. Shockwave sets with Belch is really cool. You can get the plus special attack. You can also use Calm Mind really well. You also have bulk up on the physical side. You have coverage for almost every fucking type, literally almost every type. You don't even need to list these all. You guys can read. But noteworthy stuff is like Volt Switch on Assault Vest sets is great. Drain Punch on Assault Vest sets is great. Assault Vest sets in general are great because of despite losing SPDF and HP, you're still super bulky, and with Assault Vest, you become really bulky with the good physical defense stats. So, yeah. Double Edge is there. It's nice with Metabolism because you can get the healing with the berries and stuff, so you can like get recoil and then heal yourself off with the recoil. And like I said, Belly Drum is not great, but it's there. It's strong, but like you can use Belly Drum with Metabolism really well, actually. Like you can totally do Belly Drum plus Citrus and Metabolism. That gives you full HP. So you can use like it's free belly drum as long as obviously you're slower and you're gonna be taking a hit, but overall you're gonna be healing a lot after using belly drum. Only downside is you're slow, so you can't really get that much leverage out of it, but it's there. It's definitely useful. Lots of coverage, like I said. I'm not gonna waste time listing all of these guys. There's so many. I already talked about Calm Mind and Bulk Up. More coverage. I mean, half of these moves I'd already got in Gen 9, like Hydro Pump, it got in Gen 8 Tutor, sorry, TR rather. So that's not like any. I mean, I would have thrown it on there anyways because he's one of those mons that just learns a bunch of moves for no fucking reason. So yeah, I think that's about it for them. Not too much else to talk about. Like I said, Unaware is great for stopping sweeps. Also, Parting Shot is good on bulky sets. Rage is great. Rage is great because of how bulky you are. You can use Rage and just get a stat boost time you click it as long as they hit you back, and you can slack off, or you can like, for example, you know what a great combo is? Stockpile, Swallow, and Rage. Chef's kiss right there. Stockpile, Swallow, Rage is great because what Stockpile, like I already explained, Stockpile and Swallow, so you can get the healing up, you can bolster your defenses, and then click Swallow whenever you want, and you get the Rage with the bulky Stockpile. You're not taking much damage at all, and then you get the +1 attack each time you get hit, and it's just really cool. Coverage for literally everything. You can every type. Lots of good utility. Solid bulk. Not solid, very solid bulk. Great coverage, great utility, great moves, great stabs, good stats. Very solid mon. Very, very reliable, strong, bulky mon. Yeah, I think that's about it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks.